I pulled up my electric bill next to last year's. Same apartment, same thermostat, and the number is just bigger. Everyone says it's the data centers, is it?
Partly. Across the country, residential electricity is up about 7% in a single year, and more than a third since 2021. And yes, the data centers are real. But if you stop the story at data centers, you've missed the part that actually decides your bill. There's a formula underneath all of it. Let me show you the formula. Your electric company isn't a company the way a coffee shop is. It's a monopoly, one set of wires to your home, no competitor, so it can't just charge whatever it wants. A state regulator decides what it's allowed to earn, and here is how that decision actually works. It's one equation. The utility adds up everything it has built to serve you, the power plants, the poles, the wires, the substations. That pile is called the rate base. The regulator lets the utility earn a set return on that entire pile, plus its running costs. Rate base times an approved return plus expenses. That is your bill.
Wait, so the return is on the stuff they build?
On the stuff they build, which means the way a utility grows its profit isn't by running lean, it's by building more. Economists named this back in 1962, the Average and Johnson effect. A regulated monopoly has every incentive to build too much because it earns a guaranteed return on capital, not on efficiency. The bigger the pile, the bigger the profit.
That feels backwards. They make more by spending more?
By spending more on things that go into the rate base. And that guaranteed return is a real, specific number. In its most recent case, one of the country's biggest utilities was granted a return on equity of 9.8%. Not a target, not a hope. An authorized number, earned on the capital, year after year, whether the economy is up or down. So follow your dollar. It goes in as a bill payment. It covers fuel and upkeep. That part is roughly at cost. But the slice sitting on top of all that built capital earns that 9.8%, and that slice flows to one place, the shareholders. That utility's parent company cleared about $3 billion in profit last year and pays its shareholders a dividend like clockwork. None of that is illegal or even hidden. It's the deal. In exchange for being the only wire in town, the returns are set by a regulator and made remarkably safe.
So my rising bill and their steady profit are the same machine.
The same machine. Your payment is the input. The guaranteed return is the output. Now watch what happens when you drop the biggest new customer in a generation into a machine that profits from building. This is a real filing. Virginia, 2025, docket PUR, 2025, 0058. The state's largest utility asks its regulator for a raise, a return on equity of 10.4% and $822 million more a year. The regulator pushes back, grants 9.8 instead of 10.4 and $566 million instead of 822, a real check. And still, the typical household there sees about $11 more a month. That's the system working as designed, not breaking.
And the data centers?
Here is where they come in. That region serves the largest concentration of data centers on Earth. Its grid operator now projects electricity demand climbing for decades. In just 6 years, the summer peak in that utility's territory rose 23%, the winter peak 45%. Every wire and plant built to serve that load gets added to the rate base and earns the return. The regulators saw it too. In that same order, they created a new class just for the giant users, data centers of 25 megawatts and up, and made them pay for the capacity they reserve, even if they never use it. An attempt to make the new load carry its own weight, instead of you.
Okay, but if they make the data centers pay their share, does my bill stop rising?
No, and this is the part the headlines skip. Take every data center out of the picture, and your bill still climbs, because the grid itself is being rebuilt. Nationally, the spending to deliver electricity has been climbing for years. Transmission spending has nearly tripled. Distribution jumped billions in a single year, replacing aging equipment and hardening against storms. And all of it, every mile of new wire, every hardened pole, goes into the rate base and earns the guaranteed return. Data centers didn't invent this. They just dropped the biggest pile of new spending in a generation onto a machine that was already built to profit from spending.
So it was never really about the data centers.
It was about the formula. Data centers are just the loudest thing being fed into it right now. Here's what I want you to carry out of this. The number on your electric bill is not a market price. It's the output of a procedure, a rate base times a return a regulator signed off on, plus costs. When you see your bill rise, you're not watching supply and demand. You're watching a monopoly earn its authorized rate on everything it just built.
I don't love the answer, but I finally understand the bill.
That's the whole point. Next on the meter, we take that one number apart, rate base, the single figure that quietly decides what you pay. And on uninsurable, reinsurance, the global layer of capital behind your home insurance policy. I'm Marcus Reeve. I spent 30 years reading the fine print.
And I'm Nora Vance, still reading my bill.